Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're taking a look at a couple of trailers from episode 7 of Street Woman Fighter. It releases later today in Korea, but it is still the end of my Monday here where I am. So I get a whole day to kind of wait and get into what happens in the 7th episode. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I know the Hwasa challenge has been launched. We're gonna see kind of behind the scenes a little bit more, I feel, and can't wait to watch it with y'all. Let's go ahead and check it out.
지금부터 화사의 신곡 시연 미션 투표를 시작합니다. 대한민국 대표 퍼포먼스 퀸 화사의 신곡으로 펼쳐지는 역대급 무대 최고의 퍼포먼스를 보여준 크루에게 투표해주세요. 화사의 선택 가산점과 칠리 챌린지 가산점 대중투표 점수로 순위가 결정이 됩니다.
포인트 안무를 짜는 게 챌린지 가산점을 획득할 수 있는 최고의 방법이겠죠?
I think mostly because the song feels like it was literally made for us. 화사 솔로는 리아킴이 짜야 됩니다.
Okay.
칠리 챌린지. 확실히 챌린지용으로 만들려고 하는 거니까 포인트 안무에 몰빵하고
딱 보자마자 따라할 수 있게끔 만드는 게 챌린지다 보니까 우리 마네킹의 안무가 화사님에게 새롭게 다가올 수 있겠다? 칠리 곡에 좀 잘 어울리게 힙합을 잘 버무리지 않은 우리 스스로 이게 부끄럽지 않게 하자.
일단 저는 너무 좋았고요. 눈빛 도는 걸 봤어요.
최종적으로 보여줄 때는 올플러가 많이 기대가 돼요. 너무 기대감이 컸던 것 같아요.
아티스트도 만족할 수 있는 안무를 찾기가 참 어렵잖아요, 그게.
너무 기대돼.
한번 봐볼까 봐요. 정석을 보여주는 다 씹어 먹는.
Ooh, we get to see her feedback to these.
장점이 되게 부각되는.
화사.
좋아, 딱 칠리야. 아, 근데 은근히 원밀리언이 벌스 부분도 너무 지나가. 다양한 그런 구성들도 보고 싶은 거죠. 뭔가 이렇게 하나로 안 느껴지고 따로 노는 느낌? 많이 좀 힘들어 보이는. 다 같이 많이 힘들었던 순간이었어요. 이걸 누가 안 짚으면 이런 일이 또 생길 수는 있을 것 같아서
저희가 너무 죄송하다는 말씀을 드리고 싶고 저한테도 용납이 안 되는 거예요. 저 인생에 이런 일은 없었거든요.
Man, I feel like we're seeing breakdowns from crews pretty much about once an episode, right? But that's not necessarily like a bad thing. I think it's this competition is pretty, I mean, it can be very stressful, right? So going from the top, of course, we knew there's the Hwasa challenge because I just reacted to the whole shebang. You can go look at my analysis there. I think it's a little bit stressful, right? Whenever they have to perform for Hwasa while she's physically there. I know that's kind of the case that we saw in Street Man Fighter and in the first season of Street Woman Fighter, right? Performing in front of her. And Hwasa does word her feedback. She has to word it a little differently whenever they're right in front versus whenever she's in a room with who she's with, you know. I feel like that her feedback's going to be more accurate to how she actually feels whenever she's in the room with, I don't know who the guy is, maybe the producer, not sure entirely. But I definitely feel like we're going to hear a little bit more of her honesty come to that, you know, whenever she's seeing the finals. Now, what sucks is that with these trailers that we're watching, there isn't a closed caption. It's a what is it? Korean auto-generated to English, so sometimes there's just no caption, like right here.
Mostly because the song feels like it was literally made for us.
You know, and I feel like with 1 million, they have this expectation of, we've worked for Hwasa before, we know what she likes, so this is our challenge for the taking. Jam is fresh blood, right? They're new blood, not fresh, new blood in the K-pop scene. And so I think a lot of them has done skeleton crews. I know Audrey and Kirsten for sure have, and I know others may as well, but oh, and if you don't know what a skeleton crew is whenever you have dancers. It's similar to a demo that for an artist, it's the demo vocals that an artist will record over. not over, but it just shows you what the song is, and then you have the artist sing it, whatever. But here, Skeleton Crew is representative of members, let's say Stray Kids, and you have people who are part of a Skeleton Crew, so they represent a member of Stray Kids. They do the choreography, it gets filmed, it gets sent off to Korea, and then the choreographer's there. They go and they take it and they put it on the actual members. So sometimes that's like the most cost-effective way that they do it nowadays. That's become way more of a habit. But anyway, I don't know if you guys cared about that, but yeah, so it's a, what the draft equivalences of this is the equivalence of a Skeleton Crew that you get from like LA, to Korea. So it's cool that you kind of get to see their processes. You know, a lot of them are like, you know, I know Reddit explaining to make it for a challenge. Now we have had the conversation before of, I really feel that Mana Queen really didn't showcase much of themselves as much as we've seen. I know there's a chance because at this portion of the competition, they have heard feedback, of course, of what the general public feels about some of the challenges. And so I have a feeling there is a chance that they may have really revoked a lot of their whacking, because a lot of people were like, oh, that mega crew, even though you know how I feel about how their mega crew was, it was phenomenal. Some people are like, oh, they're just doing, you know, throwing their arms around, and you know, you're gonna get people like that. But I wonder if, because the general public, because it's a global vote too, so people will view the public a little bit more with heavier weight, like their opinion, you know. So I wonder if they were influenced by people saying that they are just sticking to whacking, similar to, you know, Prime Kings, oh, all they're gonna do is crump, things like that. And we know they're versatile, so I wonder if that really influenced how they did it. So what it appears, based on the context of how Mnet edited it, but we all know Mnet likes to edit things however they want to edit. So this is like they're showcasing, it's D-Day. So it appears that Hwasa really likes Wolflow's take. And based, you know, there's a chance that hopefully, I hope this is the case, I hope that Choom releases the draft versions like this that Hwasa sees. Maybe we get to hear what her feedback is. I think it'd be really cool. She really liked it. Yeah, so it appears, hopefully, honestly, I think it would be really nice for Wolflow to get some positive feedback like this, because we know that they've had a more disadvantageous journey in the choreography realm. So I actually would hope that this is true, the editing of this is true, you know. And then it also, you know, with the draft, they're making it look like everyone's like, this isn't it, that kind of stuff. So she was saying, I guess based on the translation, it's like she was maybe, it's a shame, you know, she had really high expectations for Bebe, because, you know, with Bada Lee, she's done a ton of choreography. But for me, I've said this, a lot of her choreography looks really, really good on guy idols because of how they hold themselves in their posture and the type of music and the genre that she's really good at choreographing to. Not saying that their choreography was not bad. There was other components that I actually touched on, like their costume, or, you know, just how they chose to feature or approach it was very different, and it's a risk. Now, could it have paid off? Possibly. Remember, we don't know what Hwasa voted, and we don't know the global votes as much. I do know 1 Mil and Jam, I think, got most of the global votes on this. Now, if somebody can tell me, Hwasa Shinguk, 시안 미션 평가날 드디어 가는. Okay, so I don't know who he is, and I don't know what the translation is of this. There's a chance, I'm assuming he either produced it or he's affiliated, so he was part of the process of making the track, would be my assumption. Could be directed music video, I have no idea, you know. So it appears like we get to hear more of her authentic thoughts, you know, because they may have changed based on the rough draft or whatever they were showing her from the get-go. Costumes matter for this, you know. She said I was looking forward to it so much. Yeah, she said, I love this. It's definitely, it reached chilly, but then she says, 너무 지나가. I don't know what she means when she says that. Oh my gosh, I wish I knew more Korean. The compositions of the parts. Oh, I feel like we were... Like they were choreographed separately, maybe? Yeah, so it's appearing, so how the context of it basically looks like she has some qualms or some issues with One Mills from the draft to now, and then she also had some issues with Mana Queens, is what it looks like, or that it appears that she really likes jams. We won't really know. They're not going to show us the results until, I mean, I don't know, you know the turnaround time on this voting. It was very, very short, so I'm curious if they're going to show us who won this challenge in this episode, or if they're gonna save it for, you know, show excerpts or something in the next episode. I know we're gonna have another challenge, and some people have said that it's not gonna be Muse of Street Woman Fighter. It's not gonna be that kind where they have boys involved or the opposite gender, because we've Mega Crew already had that, so there's a chance it's gonna be a completely new challenge, and some people said that there's some spoilers about it. So the more info you know, the better I think it's gonna be. But all in all, Mnet is structuring it to where Bebe got some constructive feedback from Hwasa before the challenge, and then it appears that she liked Wolf Lowe's, and then whenever she watched it with whoever she was watching it with, she had some issues with Mana Queen and One Mills, but she liked jams. Now, remember, Mnet edits how they want to edit, and I know some of you guys are fluent in both English and Korean, so if you could provide a more detailed understanding of this, I would greatly appreciate it. Because I tried to wait for the captions, and they just never uploaded it for this episode, so we're just going in with Google Translate by our side. But yeah, I still have one more trailer to watch, so we're gonna go ahead and check that out now. So they're doing filming for this. I wonder if something happens. Oh, I wonder if she's starting to forget what she's doing.
아티스트가 잘 보여야 하는 화사님의 역할이 굉장히 중요하다 보니까 립을 정확히 전달하고 표정 포인트를 정확히 주자. 하은이가 모니터를 진짜 많이 했거든. 립을 정확히 다 외웠는데도 그게 표시가 안 나는 거라면 그게 될 때까지 연습을 해야 되는 거야.
So I wonder if they're talking about like having to make sure that you mouth the lyrics well. Okay.
걱정이 많다.
So I wonder if she's feeling a lot of stress because she's the K-pop choreography representative of the group.
완전 중요한 역할을 맡았고 모든 거를 신경 쓰다 보니까는 많이 부담되고 버거워 보이는 상태예요.
무대가 너무 떨려졌어요. 부담감이 너무 심해지니까.
Yeah, I don't think we've experienced. Oh no. Okay.
멘탈이 무너지기 시작하면서 안무까지 까먹는 지경까지 온 거죠.
This makes me proud of the fact that we were able to see a clean run from whenever we analyzed it. So they're able to watch.
제가 제일 좋아하는 걸 하게 됐는데 이렇게까지밖에 못한 제 자신이 너무
Man, I will say that's kind of the pros and cons of these types of challenges is you have people that are more on the front lines. And I think a trend we're noticing, which I'll wait till I'm done watching the trailer and then I'll talk about it. Most of the people that end up crying in this, which is completely fine that they are, I think feelings are real. I think it stems from they're putting too much pressure on themselves for the challenge itself because they're a representative of what it is. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's what happened with Kirsten with Jam Republic. They got it. You got it. I am really proud. I love the fact that Mana Queen is supporting her. That's really important. There we go. Okay, so they're showing a little excerpt here, which is really nice. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I think I already touched on it, but I'll say it again. I think we do end up seeing people break down for different reasons, but the common denominator I found with Leah, Kirsten, and with Redaleek is what they all three had in common was it was breaking down out of the pressure that was happening because of the challenge of what it was. With Leah, it had to deal with, I'm assuming it was when their crew didn't get the slot for JYP, right? And they ended up having to go to YG and compete against Wolflow during the K-pop challenge, which I already said, I think it worked better in their favor. I love the choreography they did there. Kirsten, it was during the Mega Cruise. Everything worked against them. Very overwhelming when you guys are the resident people who have the most experience in Mega Crew, and everybody watching the show knew from the forefront that you guys should have, like, I always feel like out of all the expectations, Jam Republic's Mega Crew is probably the highest level of expectations that people were expecting. And the fact that it fell to where it did, because the expectations were so high, they didn't meet those expectations. But personally, I think they did as best of a job as they could, and it proved how well they were fluently in the Mega Crews. And then going here with Red Elite, she's known as, you know, she's a K-pop choreographer. And I think that, you know, with 1 million, they have that pressure, but it feels more like we're confident and we're going to go for this. And they may have experienced setbacks, but their setbacks were mostly a little bit earlier in the competition. So we're not going to focus on those as much as Mana Queens now. And so I think it's really important to note, like, Red Elite, she's feeling this burden of this challenge because in her crew, she is the one, I'm assuming, that has the most experience in this realm. So her representing the artist makes the most sense because she's creative, like, choreographic director for aespa, right? With SM. Hopefully I said their name right. So all in all, like, this, them getting overwhelmed with this, making these types of mistakes, I have been there. I 100% have been there. I think this is where the beauty of being able to do multiple shots takes place. They were able to have a good run. At the end of the day, if they only had one shot and she ended up having to do that she probably would have felt a lot worse. So I'm glad that there's cushion. That's the benefit of doing multiple takes, is there's cushion here for if an injury happens, like what happened with Jam with K-pop challenge, if you have to relocate, you know, or if you know, in this case, you keep forgetting and you have to grow in that area, and you get to have your community, which is Mana Queen, the other members, be there to help guide you through this very burdensome time that you're putting on yourself. I think this is, it's honestly, it's great stuff for Mnet, great editing stuff for them, but also I think that it's helping with the redemptive side. Like, I really think that it's good that we're able to see Mana Queen in this way, where they, you know, they are strong, they are confident, but I think every crew experiences really disadvantageous things regardless of the challenge. I feel like every challenge there's a crew that really has it rough, but they still overcome and they still really push through. Do I still stand by, I believe, if we're just looking at this challenge, I know this is a bonus point kind of challenge, this isn't one that's gonna make them go into the bottom or like be put up for elimination, because at this point I've also watched Treatment Fighters, have been through the whole process. We don't know what the second challenge truly is. I don't think it's gonna be, like I've already mentioned, gender, like having opposite gender join. It may be something different and new, and that challenge has more of a heavier weight onto the eliminations in comparison to this one. This one will give you points if Hwasa and the global vote and all of that happens. But you know, if I were just exclusively looking at this challenge, my vote, just based on the takes that I saw back on Tuesday, it would have been Mana Queen and Wolflow in the bottom two because of the presentation and all the other criteria and factors of, to my knowledge at that time. But remember, some of it was stemmed from my personal preference and my context of what I've seen in the seasons past, as well as what I know from Hwasa and Mamamoo, and from just a lot of that, or what I've seen Hwasa do recently. So I just know that. And so I think it's important, like how it's kind of guiding. It is important. I wonder if a criteria was make sure that you lip sync. I'm not sure. Some of them really did a good job of that. Some of them kind of cut off that. So I don't know if that was a really big indicator of proficiency, but I could tell she was very stressed out because I feel like she really did try hard. But it was something that is very worrisome. And I did make a note about the costume as well. It's not quite fitting her as well. And some of you said it was not hers. I think it was Funky Wise, right? That's her top. But I think it's good that we're able to see them grow, and I'm really glad they actually produced a good result. It was clean, definitely on the cleaner side. It was underwhelming, and I do stand by my analysis that I did make, because remember, some of the criteria you can't let these types of things factor in to whether or not a crew does good or not, because it's not fair, you know? Because when you think about it, okay, Jam had a really tough time for Mega, but does that take away the fact that their Mega crew did not stack as the top 2? I don't believe they stacked as the top 2 when you look at the criteria of how a basic mega crew, they didn't even make the basic requirements, but they really did a great job in so many other facets, and their following is so large, it really helped them. So I really want to make that clear too, that, you know, it's really nice to know that they were able to overcome a sense of struggle and they were able to grow, but it doesn't ignore the fact that there's other things that they have to, you know, they have to be accountable for. Were they the best at this challenge? They were not, you know? And I think it's good that we're able to see other people supporting them, using their filter. I know that's like part of the criteria too, is how viral, how many times were their banner used, right? So I think that's just like my overall note with this trailer, is that I love the fact we're able to see this. I hate the fact that they experienced it, but I love the fact that they probably grew so much from it. And it is a stressful situation, and I think it's good that they get to watch the playback, because I know for me, when I watch myself doing routines, because I do dance covers and I also do choreography and all of that, it is nice to watch myself to know, like, oh, I thought I hit it this way, but I actually need to do better. So I think that's actually a great component that they have the ability to do, is do a playback and watch and be like, oh, we need to fix this. But it's very overwhelming, and I'm really glad that hopefully they made it through this and they gave a good run, but in comparison to everybody else, I really feel like theirs was not in the top tier, which could play a role into the other challenge, because remember, I don't know what the challenge is at this point. Maybe we'll know tomorrow, but it is overwhelming. I love the fact that they're comforting her. It is hard. Yeah, it's like they really empathize with her, and I think that's something really special, that you have people that are there with you. They're like, we got this. I love this. And I think they get to, you know, the other crews get to see them do their takes. Yeah. So I'm curious, like, yeah, they're in the room. I'm assuming they're just playing the videos back to back to back, so all the people get to see it, versus they all have to sit there and wait for everybody to do their take. That would be my assumption, especially because they're doing multiple takes. So that's my guess. I mean, y'all let me know. Remember, I only had a very broken English translation that's happening at the bottom. I'm really going off of demeanor, mannerisms, my whatever Korean I do know, and all of that. But this is, I mean, I'm always, I think I'll just consider myself a fan of the series at this point. I really like the caliber of talent that's on this, and the amount of just creative adventure, and there's different ways that people are able to just grow and showcase some of the best that you can see on a show like this. I absolutely love it, and I think that regardless of any feedback or anything that I say, it doesn't discredit the fact that I absolutely freaking love this show in the way that I'm watching it, meaning that I get to watch the performances, and the discussions I get to have with y'all is so fun and enjoyable. And even just being able to do the trailers and we have discussions underneath, and you guys give me way more context than any research I could do, it means the world to me, and I'm so thankful for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I mean, I know with trailers, I don't feel like I'm as helpful in these as I am with choreography analysis, but I really like watching just certain excerpts from the show, just so I can kind of prepare what kind of structure they're about to go through, what we're about to experience, and it helps me understand what I'm looking out for whenever they release stuff on Choom, so I have a better context of what we're looking at. If you haven't seen my analysis on the Hwasa Challenge, I do have that on the channel. I also recently launched, I have over 20 hours of Street Man Fighter content that is released on Patreon. It's all of the challenges, around 15 plus battles, all the elimination battles. I even went so far as to do all of the choreography selection analysis between all 5 dance rank missions. So I didn't just do leaders and sub leaders, I did both middles and the rookie. So much information, so much analysis out there. Go have fun with it. If you want to wait, that's totally fine. I will be releasing that content at the conclusion of Street Woman Fighter Season 2. That's to make sure that Season 1 and Season 2 stay really close together on YouTube, and I'll be releasing Street Man Fighter in subsequent order after that point. Thank you guys again, always, for being such a great support for me. I also know too, I'm very open to growing and learning more context of what was happening in this episode, because remember, I really didn't get a full understanding of what's happening. So if y'all could help me, I would really appreciate that, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.